Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch the Movie. Mike here, and I have some totally shitty, exciting, shitty news for you today. So it appears that a Hellraiser sequel is in the works. The last Hellraiser sequel we got was Hellraiser Revelations, which doesn't count as a Hellraiser movie. Shit doesn't even count as a movie. It doesn't even count as a bowel movement in the world to many people. I didn't even take the time to watch it because I've literally never heard such scathing reviews for a movie. And not just the reviews, but the fact that Dimension, who owns the film, literally made that film in a week just to keep the rights to it, to keep someone who gave a shit about it from making their movie. So fuck them. I'm not gonna pay my time or money for that kind of shit, or in a chubby, fat pinhead. That being said, I'm a hopeful guy and I love horror sequels, even if they suck. When you're talking about the greats and you're talking about the Michael Myers and you're talking about Jason Voorhees, I just want more to the lore, to the story. I want it all. And something cool about this is that Heather Langenkamp actually broke the news. But here's the thing. Heather Langenkamp apparently has a small role in the film, as she said, and they've confirmed. She's got a small role in the film, so that's really cool. She was in the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie. That's a pretty cool tie-in. The shitty news, and it continues to get shitty from here down. This is that Heather Langenkamp was the crown fucking jewel. From here, it's just the shit mountain continues to drop. Doug Bradley not only is not in the movie, but gives you reason to worry considerably about the movie because A, Clive Barker has nothing to do with it. B, Doug Bradley, the original Pinhead that we all know and love, who has such sights to show us, doesn't have anything to show us with this movie because apparently the guy who's going to be directing this new film called Hellraiser Judgment was the makeup artist from Hellraiser 3 all the way up to the most recent ones. The bad news is this man also wrote the script for Hellraiser Revelations, so that bodes poorly. This movie, Judgment, he had as a Kickstarter back in 2013. That it was his passion project. He really loved it, and he's a known makeup artist for horror movies. He is very known and very good at that. Gary Tunnicliffe, which I'm probably saying that wrong, wanted Doug Bradley to do the film. He wanted him to read the script, but asked him to sign a simple standard non-disclosure agreement, which apparently, I don't know, I live in fucking Kentucky, is a normal ass thing to ask people in Hollywood and shit like that to do. But Doug Bradley said, "Nay, go fuck yourself." He got really pissed off and said that he wasn't going to risk being sued for $1 million, basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, to not be allowed to speak about a movie in an elevator. He said there was even something dark in there about someone speaking out of turn at a convention. He's like, I'm not going to sign something making me liable for $1 million just for talking about a fucking movie, just to read a script. And the director was like, okay, well, we went on and we're going to move on to find another Pinhead the next day. I'm not going to side either way there. I mean, you take that how you want to. Either Doug Bradley just really didn't want to do it, or Doug Bradley was like, dude, you wrote that last piece of shit that I wouldn't be in. I'm not going to be in this movie either. Maybe he really just doesn't like to sign things. Gary Tunnicliffe says they are moving on and that they have their Pinhead and that he's a classically trained theater actor who reminds of Ralph Fiennes and a hint of Peter Cushing. So, strong words. Strong words. But there is like a big feeling that this is just another Rush sequel. And he promises, guys, please just trust me on this one. It's going to be great. It's going to be bloody. I know that you guys have been fucked right up the ass, and I don't want to fuck you up the ass. We're done with the fucking of the ass conversation. He wants to make something good, and he wants to give something good for fans. Says that he's been burned before, too, and asks that you please trust him, that this is going to be a great movie. And what are they supposed to say? This movie is a Rush sequel and it's going to be dog shit. You feel bad for the guy because this could be a situation as to where it really is his passion project. And maybe it's something he worked really hard on, but the studio just isn't going to give them the time. Maybe they don't believe in it, and maybe they are going to rush him, and they're just not going to give him the chance to afford his vision. But the thing is, you hate it when stuff like happens because it's always the same thing with things like this. This is going to be the greatest movie ever, no, I promise. It's going to give the fans what they want, and then it just like fizzles right the fuck out. In the next movie, they're like, no, it's not gonna be like that last one. Hard for me to imagine it being good without Doug Bradley as Pinhead, but it's gonna focus on some other things apparently. It's not just gonna focus on Pinhead, it's gonna focus on all sorts of other terrors from the underworld. But the movie's apparently already in production and is already shooting. So it seemed like they were almost trying to slip this one under the rug until Heather Langenkamp came out and mentioned it, and that's a scary thing. So fuck these assholes, man. Like, the problem here is Dimension. They're making another sequel so that they can keep the rights. Will it be good because this guy gives a shit? Maybe. Unlikely. Why are they doing this to our horror guys, you know? Jason's fucking held up in development hell. Michael's gonna have to go stay at the fucking Haddonfield homeless shelter because he doesn't even have a home right now. Hellraiser, I get that's a little bit more difficult. You're dealing with the Cenobites and all this other crazy shit like that, but it just sucks that we could be adding more story and more lore and more stuff, even if they're shitty sequels. And I don't mean shitty sequels, like Hellraiser Revelations and some of the Hellraiser sequels have not been shitty sequels. They've been non-fucking movies. I mean, they've been fucking as useful as a poop Cheeto. They've been fucking just pointless. Like the Friday the 13th reboot. It was kind of shitty, but at least it was something. Just give us something like that, like a real effort. If they just give it a real effort, put some money into it, and try to make it happen with some of these guys, you know, at least we'd have something. But it's looking really, really shitty. Bad news bears for Hellraiser, guys. So let me know what your thoughts are below. Do you think this movie has a chance? It's cool that it has Heather Langenkamp in it. Do you think maybe it could happen? I don't know. What do you want to see happen with the Hellraiser thing? Because now they've got it for another 5 years. If they make this movie in time, and they will, they'll have the movie for another 5 years. So, what the fuck do you guys think that they're waiting for? Tell us at We Watched the Movie on Twitter. We're always talking about this shit. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some motherfucking wham up in you.